Why don't you talk about what you addressed, some of the issues of City College, a community college, behind the order to prepare for a shutdown?
Okay, well today here at the meeting in San Francisco at the Women's Building, I addressed some of the issues in regards to the financial conflicts. I talked a little bit about the ACCJC, which is the Accrediting Commission for the Community and Junior Colleges, and Dr. Barbara Bino and her conflicts by serving on the board with Frank Alvarez with the Campaign for College Opportunity, Frank Alvarez being on the Lumina board, and the history of how the Student Success Task Force came to be, and what Barbara Bino has in terms of her track record. It's a very suspicious track record. She has since she's been president, which is since 2001, and 2003, she has a 37% sanction rate of the community college system, and that's 112 community colleges here in California, and that is 6 times higher than any of the other 5 accrediting institutions across the country.
So why was she put in this position?
It's a very good question. From what I understand, she was either fired or pushed out of Vista College in the Peralta Community College District, and so was Deborah Blue, who was at Laney College. Both of them were presidents. There was 8 top administrators that were forced out of the Peralta Community College District, and you can Google that online. And there's been thoughts that this is some kind of revenge, but I believe that there's some they've taken kickbacks to a whole new level. There's these major financial conflicts with these so-called philanthropic foundations and other groups that are really pushing either free market fundamentalism or this social conservatism that has this really ugly underbelly of school segregation.
And Jack Scott, he seems to be pushing this through. Who does he represent?
Well, Jack Scott, as you know, is the chancellor of the Community College District. He was a former state senator in California, and he has definitely backed a lot of very socially conservative issues with respect to education. He was involved in education while he was a senator, and backed a number of very onerous bills when it comes to due process rights for educators.
What role has the leadership of the Democratic Party in California had in this whole process?
Well, it's a bipartisan issue. It's not any one party, and so when I hear people say that, I have to step back and say, look at, both parties are involved.
Don't the Democrats control the legislature and the governor?
Here in California, the Democrats control the Senate and the Assembly, and they have for quite some time. So yes, there is definitely some accountability on their part. They're definitely pushing through a lot of bills that are definitely privatizing bills for education and giving money to where their campaign coffers are, paying them off, which is the Ed Voice group and others.
And what are those bills pushing privatization in the legislature?
There's too many for this short time, but one that died was the 1530 bill, which was Alex Padilla's bill. Essentially would have eviscerated due process rights for teachers, and luckily a group of CTA people and the lobbyist Pat Rucker for CTA, myself and a few others got up there and spoke, and that thing died in the Assembly. And there was mostly abstention votes. The 2 no votes was Joan Buckley and Tom Amiano on the Assembly, so it died in the Assembly. It actually passed in the Senate.
Why haven't the unions, education unions, organized any political campaign against privatization and charters in California?
Well, there's a lot of things going on. One thing is they're being spread very thin. This anti-public education propaganda, kind of depicting the unions as protecting child abusers and teachers wanting big puffy salaries and all this garbage that's being spewing out and controlled by the media is one aspect. And like I said, there are numerous bills. mean, they have, the Nation article actually wrote about this. Their goal is to spread the union thin. The privatizers, the free market ideologues, and the social conservatives, they want to break up the unions. They want to cause dissent within. There are probably infiltrates within the unions, but they want to cause dissent. They absolutely love it if everyone would attack the unions. They'd love to see educators flying the coop.
What does the Walton family have to do with this?
The Walton family, as I mentioned before, is they're going to start the group, but they're a major funder of privatization agenda
In California?
Across the country. Carrie Penner Walter and John Walton, son of Sam Walton, and the Walmart company is their group, and they also fund a number of Betsy DeVos groups, and she's involved in a lot of very, very serious discriminatory agendas.
Are these legal?
The conflicts, no, they are not.